It's a phrase that's almost become his catchphrase, but we use it because it's true. The UFO phenomenon is real, burgeoning, and not going away. Welcome to a special broadcast on SkyWatchTV for Tuesday, March 21st, 2017. I'm Derek Gilbert. Joining me in studio, a man who barely needs an introduction because he has been at the forefront of a couple of cutting-edge topics that don't get discussed by our churches, the UFO phenomenon and the ongoing search for the Nephilim of the Bible. He is the author of Nephilim Hybrids. He is the star, if you will, of the Watchers series of DVDs. New book, a collection of his Sunday morning commentaries posted at his blog, The Sunday Go-To-Meeting Bun. We'll ask about that. And a forthcoming new series called The Watchman Chronicles, the first installment in their own words. We welcome L.A. Marzulli to the program. L.A., it's good to see you again.
Great to see you, Derek. Great to see you guys.
And I should point out that we'll be sharing stages at several upcoming speaking engagements. I'm not nearly in demand as you are, but I'll be honored to share a stage with you here at the upcoming Hear the Watchman Conference in Dallas, March 31st through April 2nd, along with Josh over there. And, of course, the True Legends Conference, we'll talk about that coming to our backyard, Branson, Missouri, in September. And, of course, the Blessed Hope Prophecy Forum in October. We'll talk about that in just a bit. This new project, the Watchman Chronicles, what is it and what inspired it?
Basically, I felt the need to kind of go off on my own because I had content that I really wanted to get on film. And it's a sort of a different direction. In their own words, it's the first in a series. The Watchman Chronicles is sort of the overarching umbrella over the entire series. In their own words, UFOs Are Real is the first installment. There'll be others following back to back, probably 2 a year. Might be able to squeak out 3, but I doubt it. But, we're doing all the filming. I'm doing all the editing. And I went, because I'm all of these conferences, and you stated that yourself, there's sort of an unscientific poll that I took, and I show this in the film. I'm on stage, and I'm going, how many of you have seen a UFO, lights in the sky, sleep paralysis, entities in the room? Derek, I got to tell you, as a low, 5%. Now, again, this is an unscientific poll. As a low, about 5% of the people in the audience. As a high, upwards of 35% of the people have had an encounter. And the problem is, no one wants to talk about it. The churches are silent. They give you the deer in the headlights look. And the bottom line is something is going on. Every Friday, the Ancient Alien series, they dominate the conversation. And they do dominate the conversation with their ancient astronaut theorists. We're saying, yeah, we're being visited. Yes, the ancient megalithic structures around the planet certainly don't fit into the progression of history as we know it. There seems to be an outside agency manipulating the gene pool, creating these megaliths that we see in Baalbek, the Great Pyramids, Sacsayhuaman in Peru, Ollantaytambo, and other places. I mean, it's a global phenomenon, really. And so ancient aliens, our youth is looking at that. The under 30 crowd is looking at the ancient aliens going, yeah,
right.
Ancient astronaut theorists. That makes sense to me. And so this whole first installment, in their own words, UFOs Are Real, I go around and people come on the record from all walks of life. We've got pilots, we've got doctors, medical people, professionals, blue-collar people. I mean, it's all across the board. Housewives, grandmothers, the whole deal. And they've all experienced something. Some are only close encounters of the first kind, where they see a craft. Others are taken aboard. And sort of the centerpiece is this man by the name of Al Matthews. And we follow Al 3 different times in the film. And finally, Al sort of spills the beans on what happened to him and how he turned it around. And I won't tell that because that's that'll spoil the punchline of the film. But pastors weigh in on the end of the film and state, why should we be concerned about this? Why should other pastors begin to tell their congregation about what's going on? Derek, I got to tell you, I truly believe that this is the coming great deception that is going to change everyone's paradigm on this planet in an instant. If crafts show up, I mean, and here's the deal. This cat and mouse game has been going on since before Roswell. We see them, we don't see them, they appear, they don't appear, they're on radar, they're not there. 5,000 people see them, whoops, they're gone again. It's this cat and mouse game. They never sit in one place and like over the White House and just sit there and go, hi, they did a flyby in the 50s. Okay, we get that. That was a flyby. But this cat and mouse game has gone on, and at some point in time, it's going to end. And when it ends, I truly believe that this is the coming great deception. What will you do when it's in your backyard, when it's on your TV set, And some news guy is going, well, they seem to be here, Bob. What do you think? Well, they seem to be friendly, Ted, so far. I mean, what's going to happen with that? How is it going to impact your paradigm? If the church is still here, we may be. If the church is still here, this will cause, in my opinion, the great falling away, the apostasy that we read about in 2 Thessalonians. So this film is for the church, for the pastors, for non-believers. It's really all across the board, because it especially with Al's testimony, it really shows Al's progression and how he finally comes to realization and gets out of the phenomena. Every time I watch it, because I did all the editing on it and I did most of the filming. During the editing process, you watch these things over and over.
Right,
every single time there's this one scene where he's finished and he turns to the camera and then turns back, and I just choke up. Every time I see him do it, I choke up. So there's some visceral emotion there that just, anyway, that's what the film is about.
Just doing some rough numbers while you're talking here, if you start with just some round numbers of a population in the U.S. of 350 million, 5%, even if that's the low number, that's about 17 million people. I've read numbers in other studies that as many as 4% of the U.S. public have said that they've experienced some sort of UFO encounter, whether it was seeing something they couldn't explain or actual experiencers, people who claim that they've been contacted one way or another by entities that are not of this earth. So again, we're talking about a substantial part of the American population, as many as 10 to 15 million people. That's not, this is not the radical fringe. These are rational, productive members of society who've seen things. I work with people who have seen things, people that I trust and get along with and deal with on a daily basis. These are not crazy people. The question then is, if we don't know what they are, or at least, I guess a better question is, how do we explain this to the church at large so that they are prepared for when this actually happens?
Well, I've written numerous books on the whole UFO phenomenon. Certainly, Politics, Prophecy, and the Supernatural. The Cosmic Chess Match would be another one. Some entries in the Sunday Go to Meat and Bun actually talk about it. The Coming Great Deception. Satan comes with all signs and lying wonders. What does that mean? What does that mean to the average Christian? And churches don't want to talk about that because that's not a feel-good message, and yet it's there. Jesus tells us that let no one deceive you. Many will come in my name saying, I am the Christ. Deception is the end game here. And so, the purpose of this film, and I hate to sound self-serving because I know some people will look at it that way. You asked, how do we warn the people? That's the whole purpose of the film. And we've got a special. You buy one, you get the second one half off, so you can give it to somebody, because the word needs to get out. And here's the deal, Derek. Let's go with a medium number, 5 to 35. So let's go like 20% or something, okay, of people. 20% of the people sitting in your pew, in your church, in the pews in your church right now, have had some kind of an experience, and they don't want to talk about it. They're afraid to talk about it. I'll tell you one story. I was down at the Church of His Presence down in Georgia. It's either Georgia or Alabama. I always get those. Anyway, so I'm down there, and there's about 1,000 people. There's actually a clip in the film which show this. It's a clip from up above in the, I guess, the balcony looking down over the congregation, and I'm on the stage. And I go, how many of you have seen lights in the sky, UFOs? And so the pastor's son is sitting in the second row. And he's like this. He's got his hands, body language, right? He doesn't want to hear any of this. It's just a bunch of hooey, just a bunch of nonsense. Why do we bring this Marzulli character in, right? And it was, I spoke 2 nights, and the first night was like, I had to win the crowd over. And the pastor told me that. These people don't know anything. I went back and I added 20 slides to my presentation, step by step, line by line, precept by precept. So when we finally got there, I'd have, people could take the lead. So the pastor's son is sitting in the second row, and I asked for a show of hands. And he came up later, all excited, and he told me the story because he was blown away. He figured there'd be 2 or 3 hands that would go up. And what blew him away, he says, L.A., there's 25 to 30% of the people. We had like 200 to 300 hands up in the air. I couldn't believe it. What's going on? And we had a nice conversation after that. Look, Derek, it's like the cat and mouse game continues. There is a breeding program. They are implanting people. We covered some of this in Watchers 7 and Watchers 8, where we removed the implant. I remember I go back 15 years ago, and I was just starting to, to speak out and do this kind of stuff. And other Christians laughed me to scorn when I talked about implants. But we went out, and this is what we do. We go out, people laugh, and then we go out and we actually take something out of somebody. We do all the research, and that's out of our nickel. Richard Shaw and I in the Watchers series, Watchers 7 and Watchers 8, where we actually removed the implant, and the thing was cloaked underneath the skin. I mean, I'm not making this stuff up.
Right.
I'm not making it up. So we prove that there is something going on, that people are being implanted. And what was chilling is that these entities knew what we were about to do, and they cloaked that implant. One prayer changed the environment in that operating theater, and all of a sudden it came into view on the screen.
That was a startling scene in the video. Yeah. Startling.
Very, very sobering. So again, we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but with wickedness and principalities in heavenly places. This is what we're up against. And the church is woefully, asleep in regard to this. They don't even want to talk about it. This is spiritual warfare 101. This is the coming great deception. And the springboard to it is the Darwinian paradigm. Because Darwinism says that, there is no God, no supernatural. Everything just happened over billions of years. Well, the neo-Darwinists, and this is all in the film, by the way, in their own words, Watchman Chronicles, the neo-Darwinists are saying, not so fast, citizen. Maybe we were seeded here, panspermia. Maybe we were seeded here by a race of extraterrestrials, advanced extraterrestrials. And so this is why the coming great deception, when they show up, the neo-Darwinists will go, yes, this is what we've expected. These are our progenitors, our creators. They're making movies about this stuff. So all I can do, a priori before the event, is wave my hands, continue to produce content, which I do constantly. Right now on my YouTube channel, all we're focusing on are people that have had encounters. And like you, we're doing Skype interviews with people. We're reading their testimonies on the air. If they've got pictures and videos, if you've got a picture or a video, email me, la@lamarzulli.net, la@lamarzulli.net. If you're bold enough to come on Skype, I'll get you on Skype and tell your story in their own words. TheWatchmanChronicles.com, TheWatchmanChronicles.com.
Okay. When will the series begin? When will that first movie be released?
We're shipping tomorrow.
Okay, so very timely.
We actually got product in our hand today, first day of spring. We ship tomorrow. So we've already got thousands of pre-orders. People are eating it up. We had a great special for the pre-order, but we still have a good special. Buy one for $19.95, get the second one half off. Give it to your pastor. Give it to a deacon. I mean, people are just, we all go to Starbucks. We all do this stuff. I mean, this is, I just can't tell you how important I think this information is. And that's why, we're doing what we're doing.
And again, the website is thewatchmanchronicles.com.
WatchmanChronicles.com. You can check out the trailer. There's also some clips from the film. I teamed up with an animator by the name of Wesley Sangiorgi. He's down in Brazil. And so as people are telling the stories, he's bringing it to life with CGI, computer-generated images. So it really moves it very quickly. And there's probably 30 people that come on the record in their own words about their UFO experience.
Fantastic. Now, again, we are going to be speaking at the Hear the Watchman conference coming up in Dallas, March 31st, April 2nd. Yep. That is now sold out, but the
sold out, standing room only.
Live video stream is available. It's $39 through Wednesday. After Wednesday, it goes up to $49, so take advantage of that now if you're planning to take advantage of watch the conference. All the presentations will be archived for 30 days afterwards, so you can go back and watch things again. What are you bringing to the conference, if you can share it?
Well, I'll be talking about the Prince of the Power of the Air, which dovetails right into the whole film. Who is the Prince of the Power of the Air? And I'll start by showing aerial views of some of these sites, these ancient megalithic sites, and then bringing it into the whole UFO thing. I'll be showing clips from In Their Own Words, from the film, obviously. I mean, that's the latest research, the latest offering. But in some ways, I'm circling back to 1999, actually 1998, with my first book, Nephilim, which was about the whole UFO phenomena. Mm-hmm. So, in some ways, it's like I'm circling back, going back 20 years in a way, to the roots, because I really think this is what's coming. By the way, just for those of you who have been following our Nephilim DNA research, new information will be forthcoming, probably within the next 6 months. That's all I'm able to say right now. But just hold on to your hats. based on what I'm being told by the geneticist working on it. That's a little teaser. Still too early to tell, but we're kind of sitting here with our jaws on the ground.
Well, with, say, 6 months out, that would be April, May, June, July, August, September, which would be just in time for the True Legends Conference coming to the Mansion Theater in Branson, Missouri. It's about 45 minutes from where I live, and a beautiful facility. I've had the opportunity to go and see it. It's about a 3,000-seat venue that the Oak Ridge Boys play there about 20 times a year. Other big names will come into town. It's a wonderful conference setting. Better seats, more comfortable seats than what folks normally get at conferences. I must say that. So looking forward to that. That's going to be something else. Steve Quayle, Tom Horn, you, Timothy Alberino, Anselm P. Rambla, Pastor David Langford, and me. That's at gen6conferences.com. Hear the Watchman, hearthewatchmanconference.com, hearthewatchman.com rather, and the Watchman Chronicles. I said Watchmen. There's a difference there. Yeah. The WatchmanChronicles.com for the new series, the first release in their own words. L.A., appreciate you taking time out today, and look forward to seeing you in just a couple of weeks. And we thank you for watching.
Prosper.
We thank you for watching as we keep watch.
Thank you.
I'm Derek Gilbert, and this is SkyWatchTV.
Right now, when you purchase the new book by Carl Gallup's When the Lion Roars from the SkyWatchTV store, you'll also receive the award-winning documentary movie Inhuman, featuring the internationally acclaimed Skywatch television research team. Inhuman travels the globe and speaks with world authorities on the subject of transhumanism and unveils for the first time how breakthrough advances in science are moving humanity to a near future dominated by a new species of unrecognizably superior humans. You'll also receive the over 5-hour full-length audio series, The Coming Technocalypse, featuring Skywatch TV's Josh Peck and radio legends Doug and Joe Hagman as they expose the role of future technologies in biblical prophecy. All 3 items sold separately hold a retail value of $60. Yours now for only $29.99 plus shipping and handling at skywatchtvstore.com.
Sharing stages at several upcoming speaking engagements. I'm not nearly in demand as you are, but I'll be honored to share a stage with you here at the upcoming Hear the Watchman Conference in Dallas, March 31st through April 2nd, along with Josh over there. And, of course, the True Legends Conference, we'll talk about that coming to our backyard, Branson, Missouri, in September. And, of course, the Blessed Hope Prophecy Forum in October. We'll talk about that in just a bit. This new project, the Watchman Chronicles, what is it and what inspired it?
Basically, I felt the need to kind of go off on my own because I had content that I really wanted to get on film. And it's sort of a different direction. In their own words, it's the first in a series. The Watchman Chronicles is sort of...
I'm Derek Gilbert. Joining me in studio, a man who barely needs an introduction because he has been at the forefront of a couple of cutting-edge topics that don't get discussed by our churches, the UFO phenomenon and the ongoing search for the Nephilim of the Bible. He is the author of Nephilim Hybrids. He is the star, if you will. It's a phrase that's almost become his catchphrase, but we use it because it's true. The UFO phenomenon is real, burgeoning, and not going away. Welcome to a special broadcast on SkyWatch TV for Tuesday, March 21st, 2017. Will of the Watchers series of DVDs. New book, a collection of his Sunday morning commentaries posted at his blog, The Sunday Go-To-Meeting Bun. We'll ask about that. And a forthcoming new series called The Watchman Chronicles, the first installment in their own words. We welcome L.A. Marzulli to the program. L.A., it's good to see you again.
Great to see you, Derek. Great to see you guys.
And I should point out that we'll be